I'm very excited to introduce Audrey Hinson, who is the digital marketing coordinator at Bell and Bell here in Little River, and she's got some really useful tips today.
Thank you, Izzy. Again, my name is Audrey Hinson. I'm the digital marketing coordinator for Bell and Bell Buick GMC trucks in Little River. And some of my day-to-day responsibilities include managing our social media platforms, anything from Facebook all the way to Google My Business. I also handle some of the communications on our website, as well as creating designs through various platforms, including Canva, which I will be speaking on today. So again, as you all saw on the email, this is Immerse and Emerge. And so I came up with that idea because, of course, we'd all like to be on an island somewhere diving into blue waters, but sadly, we are at work. But we're going to make the best of it, and we're going to learn to use Canva to amplify your business's print and digital designs for free. On the agenda for today, to ensure that we complete this in a timely manner and can go enjoy the wonderful afternoon here in Horry County, I've come up with some bullet points to keep us on track. First, we will look at first steps, and then throughout the entire presentations, we'll be looking at different ways and the whys of free versus pro, because there are different membership levels that Canva does have to offer. And then we're going to jump right into a design process within Canva. After designing a simple concept, we then will look at various tools within Canva that can amplify your design. After finalizing that design, you're probably going to wonder where you can find it completed and where you can find it for future use. First steps include creating an account, where we will be going to canva.com, and you can either sign up using your Google account, Facebook account, or even email address. You have to put in your name, email, and password. And then it's going to ask you some different questions regarding uses for Canva. And then it also will ask some questions about teams. So since I'm a visual person, I figured that we should all go over to Canva, and you can just follow along with me and I'll walk you through the steps of doing so. So you're going to go to canva.com and click sign up. And as I mentioned, you can choose to sign up with Google, Facebook, or email. Now, given when you do sign up for this account, this is the free version of the account. You're not required to put in any card information. So I know that that's a deterrence for me in other platforms, but with this, it's free until you choose to go and purchase the pro version. So for today, I'm going to sign up with email, and I'm just going to use my name and this test email. You'll just incorporate your name, email, and then a password that you think is strong enough for your account, and it'll show the strength level below that. So after you do that, you'll just click Get Started. Again, this is the free version. And like I said a while ago, it will ask you what you're using Canva for. It varies all the way from nonprofit to small business, even large company. And I do think that those are the three areas that businesses within the chamber do sit in. So just choose the one that's most relevant to you. I'm going to choose small business. And then it's going to ask you to tell us about your team. And ultimately, this allows you to give the chance to personalize your team with your brand by uploading your logo, giving your team a name. And you can go and put your team name here. And then you can also go and add your logo, and you would just upload that from one of your files on your computer. But for now, for the sake of time, we're going to skip this option. And of course, like any platform or business, it's going to try to sell you on Canva Pro. And it does give you an option to try it free for 30 days. And it gives some various insider tips on what is included in that membership. But we'll look a little bit more into that at the conclusion of the presentation. So for now, I'm going to hit maybe later. And when you create your own account, you will see these same pop-up windows. So it should be an easy process for you to get in and get started. Again, it's going to go in and ask if you want to get an invite link or add team members using their email addresses. And it easily explains all of these things and the benefits within this window. But for now, I'm going to hit skip. And here we are, we're ready to start your first design. So to pop back over to our presentation, we're ultimately going to get started in a design for today. Now, when we jump back over to the internet window of Canva, you'll see that the options are endless, that you can design anything from a Facebook post to a t-shirt to even print ads, which is something, actually digital ads that we're going to be focusing on today and how you can incorporate that into your membership here at the Chamber. So going off of that, you will see that once we get into whatever design you choose, that there's a fully customizable template, thousands upon thousands of templates that you can choose and go and interchange and customize the elements and text to brand it to your own business. You'll also see that you can upload your own images. And finally, after customizing your design to meet the needs and wants of your company, you will see that you can share it, you can download it, share it to social media, and Canva even has a print company that you can place a print order and get it to your doorstep within just a few days. So you'll see that, as I said before, there's some different suggested designs. You can choose to create a presentation, a Facebook post. You can even design a logo, a flyer, really anything that you need created, you can get done here in Canva. And you can scroll and see what is popular for small businesses, which is the option I chose. And it includes Instagram posts, flyers, documents, and even animated social media. But for today, we're going to choose a Facebook ad. And as you all know at the Chamber, you can submit your own ads for the newsletters that can be included, but of course they have to be certain dimensions. So I'm going to show you how you can create this within Canva to meet the dimensions of what is needed for the Chamber and to also benefit yourself. So whenever you start your first design, whatever template you choose to create in dimensions, it will give you 4 different steps to ultimately tour you through the canvas portion of Canva. So you will see that over here, there are different templates you can choose from that are already sized to the dimensions that you need. And you can choose anything from that set and you can scroll for eons, or you can go over here into the white canvas portion and create from scratch.
I'm already going to interrupt because it's just me. I thought it was also really great because she's showing us in the free account when she's scrolling over all of those templates, it's telling us at a very quick glance which of those templates are free. And when it doesn't say the word free, you're actually going to pay for, it's probably like an upgraded icon or photo, which is still very affordable. So you can stay on the free plan and just buy different elements if you just see something you have to have.
Thank you for that, Izzy. Yes, you're completely right. As we continue journeying through the canvas portion of Canva and seeing what different elements and photos you can add, I'll show y'all more specifically what Izzy was talking about. But they're not trying to sneak any payments behind you or anything like that. It's very straightforward. You'll see if you need to pay for something, if it's not already included in your membership. And if not, it's very easy to figure out. And we'll look at that more in just a moment. So ultimately, you'll see that once we add an element to the canvas portion of Canva, you can ultimately customize it. And let me get back to my notes. I apologize for that. And then moving on, I'm just going to go through all 4 steps and then go more into detail of what else is on this page. You'll see that you can upload your own images. And once you click in this left-hand column, the upload section, you can see that you can click upload media. Let's see if it'll move it. There we go. And you can choose whatever source you need to upload from, but I'm going to choose device. And for the sake of time, I'm going to upload what I need to upload for today. So you can choose 1 image at a time or even multiple images or elements at a time. So I just went ahead and uploaded all 3 at once, and it'll be there in your uploads folder. And you can see that you can upload images, videos, and audio from your desktop as well. And then the fourth tip that they ultimately show us is that you can go and hit share. And there's different recommended options, or I'm sorry, click the wrong thing. You see that there's different recommended options, and you can share it to presentation mode right within Canva, to social media such as Instagram or Twitter. And you can even choose to order print options such as t-shirts, flyers, cards, and they will help you get that your dimension size to meet the needs of whatever print order you have, if you don't already work with a print company in the area. So we're just going to jump right into a design. Again, like I mentioned before, there's different templates you can choose from, but I'm just going to go and recreate and show you the different tools it takes to create a blank design from start to finish. This is an ad that was created externally for our dealership, and I felt that it was really simple to create and recreate here in Canva, so I figured that's what I would show you today. So again, this is your blank canvas, and that's going to be where I build it from scratch. So that I have the old ad for reference as I recreate it, I'm just going to add a new page. You'll go right here to add page, and this will add just another blank canvas for you to work with. And this will become beneficial if you ever create, let's just say, a newsletter or things of that nature. That is how you can create multiple page designs within Canva. So as I do this, I'm just going to show you everything in the left-hand column, along with the top row and anything else on this page that would be beneficial to you as you create your own designs in the future. So we see that there's going to be a blue rectangular box with the photo, and then some white space with the logo and some text all over. So how do we create that? So to get started, I'm just going to work from left to right. You see that we have to add a blue rectangle. So I'm going to go back up to my blank canvas, and I'm going to select from the Elements tab a square. You can also go down and see what else there is to offer when you need something for your own design. It ranges from lines to shapes, frames where you can pop in photos, stickers that can animate your designs, and the list goes on. But for today, I'm just going to resize this to somewhat mirror what is shown in the initial ad. And we see that it's a blue color. And another good thing about Canva is even if you don't know the exact hex code of your brand colors or whatever coding it has, Canva has this neat feature where once you click your shape and you go to the color, it sometimes, for the most part, will show every photo on the page, which is going to show this one and what colors are used within that. So that really simplifies the search process for that specific color. But if you were to know the hex code of that blue, you could go up here and type it in the search bar. For the sake of time, I'm going to select it from the photo colors. And it looks like I just need to extend it a little bit. We're just going to keep it there for now. And then you go back down to your reference. You see that there's two text boxes with your headline along with your subheading. And so it says every penny counts. So we're going to need to add a text box to reciprocate that. So I'm going to go into add a heading. Now, if you're wondering how I got there, again, it's in the left-hand column. After you look at your templates all the way down to elements where you added that rectangle, you'll go into the text, and you can choose from their different templates of text boxes, or you can just choose to add a heading, subheading, or body text. So I'm just going to type in every penny counts. And let's make it white to mirror the other design. Drag it over. And if you were unsure how I resized that so quickly, I just kind of drag the edges of it, and it'll automatically sync it to the edges of your shape. Now moving on to the subheading, you'll see that it says unbeatable commercial deals for light spending and heavy lifting. So let me type that out. Not trying to be tedious. Okay, and looks like it's on 2 lines, so we're going to align it to the left. And up here is other tools you can use to modify that text box. And we'll go more into that in just a moment. But to align it to the left, I just clicked right there. It's kind of similar to if you were typing an email or using Word. It's very straightforward and similar to a lot of other programs we use in our day-to-day business activities. So let's see if we can make that align, and it does. So I'm just going to do it like that. And for the sake of time, I'm going to leave it. We're going to keep moving forward so you can see how you can add all elements of an ad to Canva. So we then see that we have this photo that needs to be inserted into your canvas. So if you recall, I uploaded all of this at once. So you're going to go over to the left-hand column and click Uploads. And just click the image and it will add it to your canvas. You can also drag if you want, but whatever your preference is. So then, as you can see, I'm just dragging the edges of it to meet the size of the rectangle next to it. So after you do that, now given I'm not making this as perfect as the other one, so I'm just trying to get through it and show you what it takes to create that, as I've said before. So then we see that to the right of the 2 elements, there is another white text box or a white shape element, and it has the logo and your call to action. So again, like I did with the first shape, I go over to Elements, find that square, and make it into a rectangle. And that's good enough for now. We need to make it white. And just so we can truly see where that text box is, I'm going to change the background of our canvas to something random. And if you're wondering how I did that, I just click anywhere on the canvas that it doesn't contain another element, click the background color, and choose any color or type in your own code. So moving forward, we've added this additional shape, and we now need to add our logo. Again, go over to the left-hand column and add Uploads. I'm just going to shrink this for the sake of time and place it centered in the shape. And then, as you all know, in ads, when they are printed digitally, there's usually a call to action and it takes you to a website or another landing page. So that's what I'm going to do now, but I'm going to show you the limitation of that by using the free account level. So we see that we need like a rounded rectangle shape. So we're going to keep moving along. I don't see it in that short list, so I'm going to scroll in the See All portion, find what I need. Let's see. That works for now, and we need to make it red. So again, I go over to the color box in the left-hand corner. And for now, for the sake of time, I'm going to choose the red that is in our Bell & Bell logo. And then if you go back down to the reference area, you're going to see that I need to add the text Shop Now. So again, I'm just going to add some heading text for the sake of time. Type in Shop Now. Shrink it some. We need to make it white, I believe. And then drag it to the center of your shape, whatever your shape may be in your own design. So, of course, if we were to spend all day here, I could show you how to get from just this draft version to this finalized product. But I will show you a few tips just to to brand yourself better and use your own brand fonts, your brand colors, and things of that nature that really tie your business together. But going back, I looked over something. Usually you could hyperlink text. And if I click it, you'll see that there's different options in this white area, this white row. You could go and you could change your text. You can type in sans or sans serif, anything you need to try to find the font you're looking for. And so you can type it or just scroll and search. Now, as Izzy mentioned before, you'll see sometimes a crown in or next to an element or font or anything within Canva. And if you're still using the free version, that's when you will see it for the most part. And that means that that is a Canva Pro font or Canva Pro element. So you would have to upgrade your account to get to that. Now, Izzy also mentioned that sometimes you can purchase things of that nature without having to upgrade, and you can. And I will show you that once we go in a little more into depth. So not trying to confuse anyone, but for fonts, you would have to upgrade to Canva Pro membership level. So moving on, again, you can see that you can increase your font size or decrease it by using those toggle buttons there. You can again change your text color. You can italicize, underline. You can make it all uppercase. For the sake of time, we'll leave it just staggered. Align it left, center, or right. Bullets. This is where you can do your letter spacing, which ultimately increases the spacing between your letters. And you'll see that really emphasizes the look of your design. And I'll show you that a little bit more later. There's some effects you can choose from. You can add a shadow, make your text neon, even curve your text. And that's one of Canva's newer features that I really enjoy. But we're going to leave it normal as now. And you'll see that there is a copy style, link, and lock. So as I'm going back to that call to action, and when I put this ad in an email, I'm going to want the email reader to click on that call to action and take them to another website to continue learning more about my business. So once you click your text, your call to action, you're going to go to more, link, and then you would just type in your link. And for the sake of time, I'm going to put our normal website and hit apply. And now that text box now has a hyperlink to it, which when email readers or wherever you share this, whoever comes across it and they click that text, it will take them to your call to action and it will get them to continue interacting with your business. Whenever you upload your files, you will just go over to your left-hand column, and this is where you will be able to find them. And you can have the option to move it to a folder. We'll get into that more a little bit later. That is a Canva Pro feature, as you can see with the crown. You can choose to download it if for some reason you deleted it off your computer, but know you have uploaded it to Canva in the past. You can always go into your Canva account and re-download it. And you can choose to trash it and remove it from your list of uploads, because sometimes you may have a lot to sort through as you continue to upload more and more. I'm just going to go over the remainder of the left-hand column and then the top row, and then we're going to move on to the next steps in this presentation. So now that we see that we've got the basic version of what that outside vendor designed for me, you see that it's capable for you to redesign anything that you think you can't. And even if you don't want to start from scratch, we're going to pretend we open this and it's a blank canvas again. You can always go in and pop in a template that you think is relevant to your communication needs, be it print or digital. Now it's going to show you templates that meet the dimensions of what you selected. So we chose a Facebook ad. So it's going to show us Facebook ad templates only. Now just say you want to go and try to find a beachy template for the upcoming summer season. You can go to the search bar within the templates tab and type in whatever keyword you want to use. And it may or may not show you what you're looking for. but you can use those keywords. But the flip side to doing that is it may sometimes, of course, it's not going to do it for me now. It may sometimes show you templates that do not meet the dimensions of what you've selected. I know in the past, when I was actually building the presentation that we're looking at today, I was looking for some sort of beachy template that dealt with, diving in and trying to stick to that theme. And so I selected the presentation dimensions, and then I couldn't find a template that I liked that really met the theme of today's presentation. And so I went up here in template and typed in beach. And it ultimately showed me different templates like it's doing now that tied to my theme. But some of them may have met the dimensions of a poster or a postcard or something. And so you can still plop it into your canvas, but it may not fill up the screen and be ready for you to just change the text and colors and roll on. So that's something to keep in mind when you are searching for specific keyword templates like I'm doing now. You may just want to check the 3 dots in the corner of a template and make sure that it still says Facebook ad, which is what we're doing right now. And that applies to any design you choose to create. So after you choose your design and plop it in, we're just going to choose this one. You, again, can go and upload things if you need to, add an image to your page or whatnot. You can do that by selecting the Uploads tab. You can also go and search for stock images by checking the Photos tab. And I know a lot of times it's hard to find stock imagery that is free because a lot of times you have to pay for it and or you have the rights to. And with your Canva account, you have access to use the thousands upon thousands, too many to count, images, and even other elements. You have access to do that, and it's included in your membership. Now, going back to what Izzy said earlier, there may be times in your free account or whatever account level you have that you may see a star. So let's see. Of course, it's only going to show me free images. But if I go up here to the filter, I wonder why it's not doing that for me.
It's because you're in a free account instead of a paid account. Just type in like a specific term and I'm sure you'll get something. And then while she's typing, I love this feature because it's really useful to have them all in the design, Canva layout, whatever. But don't forget, even taking pictures with your cell phone can be amazing for your branding. Any ads I make that have actual local photos always do way better than stock imagery. But when you don't have it, then yeah, use the stock photos when they're provided.
So I went and typed in a keyword in the Photos tab. Again, you'll find that in the left-hand column, and you can search for things like I did in the templates link also. So you'll see that it starts out in, when I'm hovering over these images, it shows free, 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 bam. It's got a pro with the crown. So if you were to select that, to say that's what you want to use, it'll put it on your canvas for you, but it's going to have the watermark. And of course, we don't want to share any design, digital or print, that has watermarks. So you would, if you truly wanted this image, you would hit remove watermarks and you'd have to pay $1. And unless I'm mistaken, whenever I have had to purchase premium elements in the past, it was no more than $1 for each image or element. And of course, like I showed you, they'll let you know before doing that. And so you choose to purchase it, you'll hit purchase, and you'd have to put in your card information and then hit pay, and then you have access to that image. So that's how you would go and add a free or pro photo to your canvas design. Now for now, I'm just going to leave it blank and keep moving along. Like we did in that Facebook ad that we rebuilt earlier, you can see that you can go and add in any type of shape you want. And you can just plop it in to say you want a heart. You can put it in your canvas and you can angle it, reduce size. It's very straightforward. Going down again, this is where you can add heading, subheading, or body text. You can even choose from the templates below. Now, again, these are showing you free, free, free. And you may come across them that are pro, but I never have. You can even add audio to your design. Just say you are creating a YouTube video. That's even possible with Canva. You can go and add in rights-free music. And so you would just go and just say you want to use the video game blockbuster audio. It'll pop it in. And I hope y'all can hear the sound, but you see that it added audio.
Yeah, we heard it.
Okay. You can see that it added audio, and that's how you can build different videos or video intros and endings. Again, the options are endless with Canva. That is how you would go and add in audio. And you can even go and choose the category if you don't want to scroll through the endless options. Advertising, epic, club, whatever ties to your business and brand. Like I've mentioned before, you'll see that there are different free audio tracks that you have access to. And then there's ones that have pro. So if you were to select that, I wish it would just show me. I don't know why it's not showing me that. But again, to use that within your free account, you would have to purchase that element again and go through the same steps as before. Only a few more things in the left-hand column. Again, you can go and add in video, stock content, stock videos, and things that may tie to whatever design you're attempting to do. Again, I do agree with Izzy. If you're really trying to showcase your business and brand and the values behind it, attempt to do the video yourself, showcase your actual business, not a random business within this business tab. Sometimes you may need that for the sake of time and efficiency, but this is available to you if you choose to pursue stock video. And there's different categories like the photos tab and whatnot. Here is where you can change the background of your canvas. There's different ways you can do that, but if you hover over here in the left-hand column and go down, options are endless. So let's see, we click that. And the reason that it didn't remove that image, you have to delete the photo first because that's what is overlaying the background. You see, you just click it, it will go and modify it for you. So let's go back to what it looked like before. And I'm just hitting the undo button up here. I'll highlight that again in a minute. Folders, that's something we'll cover in the Where's My Design section of this course.
Before you move on, sorry, there was a question in the chat. Laura asked, if you use another person's photo, how do you give them credit?
To elaborate a little more on that question, are you saying you're uploading a photo from another source, or are you wishing to use a photo within the Canva platform?
I think she's uploading another photo, somebody else's photo into Canva.
So of course, you can go to Google and, copy and paste, and it's as simple as that, but it's really more into that. And so what I recommend doing, if you choose to upload from a different source, contact the source or review their terms and conditions and ensure that, you're not violating anything when you are uploading from that source. And so I think that's a great thing with the Canva free or even pro membership with access to all of this stock imagery is you have access to use it for your design work. So it really simplifies the process because you may come into a situation where you request access for use of a photo and you may never get a response, or you may get denied, or it could just cause a lot of complications. So of course, there's always a way to go about it, but the simplest way is to either take your own photo and then it's your property, or use, the stock photo within Canva. I know that there's other stock photo websites within Adobe and things of that nature, but those, I believe, cost money. So there's different options, but if you were to just pull it from a website, ensure you contact the source and credit them in the way they wish.
And to build upon that, in the marketing world, it's called user-generated content. And so like Audrey said, yes, get their permission first. And then if you know you have their permission and they're fairly open to it, I know you mentioned, or Laura mentioned Instagram in her question, then if you're posting your final image to Instagram, then feel free to tag them if they want to be tagged, or just to mention their name and just say, hey, thanks to Terry Azar for submitting this photo.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea. So I was just thinking it'd be nice to use those pictures, but there's no way to thank them on the picture. So But I like the idea of tagging.
Again, with Instagram, you would actually just direct message them to say, hey, can I use this? And then whenever you go to post it, then you can tag them.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Or some photographers require their watermark to be included in the photo.
Oh, right. Okay. Thank you.
So moving forward, you'll see, like I showed you, you can go in and plop in different background options. You can look at within your folders if you want to more organize your designs. That's something we'll look at in a moment. I think I have already said that. And then the last item in your left-hand column is some more option. There's other external parties and apps, even integrations that you can incorporate into your Canva creations. And I'm not going to go into depth with this because this does not make or break you from designing something, but it does help you advance your designs in the future. So you can add styles, charts, integrate.
Feel free to demonstrate Google Maps. I just think it's really cool.
Yes, there's a lot of options, and it's crazy that even with a free account, because as y'all saw, I created this free account. This isn't my separate pro account. These are all options you have access to within a free membership level. So you'll see you can integrate Facebook, Google Maps, Google Drive, Instagram, YouTube, HubSpot, even Bitmoji. So there's a lot of customization options within Canva, free or pro. So after looking at the left-hand column, you see that there's this row up here with some different options. If you hit file, this is where you can rename file. And it shows that every penny counts because that was the first bit of text I added to my screen, and that's what it usually will do. It'll show you your dimension size. Canva has already sized these canvases to meet the dimensions of what you need. So I selected a Facebook ad, and when I get done with this Facebook ad, designing it how I like, and I go and save and share, which I'll show you in a moment, it's already sized it to what Facebook needs. Just say you need a flyer printed, it would show you the inches or dimensions that the printer needs to print that. So that's where you can go and reference that if for some reason you need to know those dimensions. You can, this is a shortcut to create another new design. You can show your rulers, margins, bleed guides. For my use, I usually show the margins. I just click right there, and you can always turn that on and off. That doesn't really matter. But I always usually keep my margins on to ensure that text elements or things like that, especially text, are not going to get cut off by any chance in case the printer cuts close to the edge or things of that nature. Your changes should always save automatically, but if for some reason you want to double check that, you can come over here and click save, and then you can save it to a folder, make a copy of it. Just say you need to duplicate this design, but change up some stuff, but you don't want to mess up this initial one. That's where you would make a copy. And you can even download within the file dropdown. If you have questions or need some assistance, click the help button, and Canva should be able to assist you or provide you with some article that can further answer your inquiry. Now, you see that there is version history, but we see that crown, so it's not included in the current free membership. But version history ultimately is just say you make changes and it saves at 243 like it is now, but you keep making changes, but an hour from now you realize you want to scratch all that, but you don't want to delete it. You just want to go back to what you started with. It will show you the different versions and when it's saved. So just say I added 5 more text boxes to this within any given amount of time. Yes, you could go ahead and delete it one by one or hold and shift and whatnot. Or you can go to version history and go and look at the different versions that once existed of this design and choose the one that you need and restore it to that version.
I have a question.
Okay.
So on that drop-down menu, I work with the Conway Chamber, and I'm the marketing director, so I do a lot of the ads myself, like when doing print into different magazines.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize, they send me the specs for the ad, for whatever size I bought. But it says show print bleed, and I didn't realize that Canva had that option. So I was just curious of what exactly it did. If you click print bleed, what it did.
Yes, that's what it will do. I've never really used that. I guess I've always looked at myself, but if you really want to tie text elements or things really close to your edge, but ensure that it's not going to get cut off by the printer or whatnot, that is another good option that you can add to your canvas that you can see. Now, when you download the design or share it or, whatever you do with it after it's done, those lines aren't going to show. So, you see the margin lines right now in the print bleed. When you go and hit download or share or whatnot, that's not going to show once you download it. That's just like for your use. And Izzy, if you want to piggyback off of that, I don't use the print bleed a whole lot, but a lot of things I create are digital. So I guess that's one reason maybe why I haven't used it. But
so if you, I'm sorry. If you can tell in the design, it showed like a second rectangle, and that's basically what the print bleed is.
Okay.
And so you want to at least stretch your background photos or color all the way to the edge past the print lead. And so when people are mass printing, they're actually cutting. Mm-hmm. And so that's just giving you a margin of error for when they cut your designs down. The only thing I don't like about this is it doesn't let me specify the size of the print bleed. But even though we do a lot of print designs too, a lot of times if the advertising company gives me two sizes, like one with print bleed and one without, a lot of times I just do it without the print bleed. It's just a lot easier. And unless you're doing a full page ad, then a lot of times it's not going to make too big of a difference.
Okay. I just thought it was, I just started using Canva, and I didn't realize it had that option. I kind of just ignore that when they send it to me most times, and normally they'll fix it themselves.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. But,
and if you want to, you can always leave it and ask them which one's better, and download it both with and without the print bleed. That way they have options.
Cool.
Right.
Thanks.
I usually do that, and I'll show you in a second how you can download the two different versions. I'm trying to hurry up so we can get everything fit into the hour and save some time for questions as well. Once you look through everything and make sure you don't need anything from the file drop down, you'll see this resize option. You see that crown, so you know it's not included in your free membership. So just say you finish this Facebook ad and you're satisfied. Let's just say this is what we designed. You put in your text and your subheading and whatnot, and you're ready to share it. But you realize that you may need it for the dimensions of the Little River Chamber of Commerce email ad dimensions. And Izzy, what are those again?
I have them on our website. So the Chamber offers a variety of marketing benefits, which are actually located on the Chamber website, littleriverchamber.org, underneath members and marketing opportunities. And for the specific thing that she's talking about, members are welcome to place an ad in our email newsletter, which goes out twice a month. And we do charge for the email ad $20 an issue. And actually, I think my specification is just for it to be a horizontal photo. I try to be pretty flexible in that, like she's saying, to resize this, you have to have the paid plan. So I try to make it as easy as possible for our members that probably don't have a marketing person as great as Audrey on their staff. Now, if you ever want recommended sizes, I'm always happy to give you recommendations. But if you've already got a horizontal photo, then we'll just use that.
That's good to know, Izzy. Going back to the resize tool, if you do ever upgrade to the Canva Pro account, you will have the option to resize this finalized design to another set of dimensions for another print or digital project. So this was a Facebook ad, and let's just say we need to make it
square for Instagram.
Yes, a social media post. Thank you, Izzy. It will go and resize it. You would hit the resize tool. It's not going to let us do it now. I can show you all that in a few minutes in my own account if y'all would like. But it will ultimately maintain all of those elements and resize it to the box and dimensions for an Instagram post or a Facebook post. or whatever. So that is another good option. It really boosts a lot of efficiency and saves you a lot of time. You may need to move a few things around just to your liking, but it does save you a lot of time rather than having to go and recreate this in a whole blank canvas. And it also allows you to brighten and boost the consistency between your communications and ensure that everything is cohesive. So that's another great pro feature to look into if you ever decide to upgrade. You'll see that you can undo here, redo, and that's when, just say, I type in Audrey here and I don't like it. I could hit undo. I do like it. I could hit redo. Like you had in the file area here, you see your file name. You can rename it there. You can also click it and rename it there. They're going to get you to try Canva Pro again, but keep moving over. You can hit the share button here and share your designs with others to view and edit. So just say for some reason you've got multiple people working on one design, but you don't want to have to give them your username and password or whatnot, but you know they have some sort of Canva account. You can go and type in their email address here, choose whether you want them to edit it, view it, use it as a template, and then you can copy the link and email it to them or whatnot.
Interrupting Orange here. This is a great option if you're trying to work on a design with other people that are maybe not in the office. And if you're comfortable with them just making the changes and not having to do a lot of emailing back and forth, then sharing the design to edit or on your team, this is a really easy way to do it. And then they also don't have to have a fancy program either.
And then you can hit download once you're ready to download your design. You can choose your file type. You can go from PNG all the way to a video. And if you're unsure what file type to select, it gives some short, brief descriptions about each file type. Again, I don't know all of what the acronyms stand for and whatnot, but my personal preference in print and digital work in the past, I've always chosen a PNG or a PDF print. And of course, if you need a video, choose that as well. So those are your different file type options. If you need more clarification on that, I can answer that after the presentation. If you were to get a Canva Pro account, you could adjust your size of your design here. You could even choose a transparent background. Just say you need to place a design on top of something else, but you don't want the background, interfering in it being like a whole box. You just want the elements and the transparency of a background. You could select that there and even compress your file for just to make it a smaller size. That will reduce the quality. I don't really use that option, but that is there for Canva Pro users. If you want to download all your pages of your design, that's fine. Or you can go and uncheck what you need and check what you don't. So that's what you would do in download. Click the three dots. Like I mentioned before, they're going to give you some recommended options for sharing this. You can present it, share it to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even print it. So that's where you would go to look at your different, I guess in my head, distribution options, how you're going to distribute this design, be it digitally or through print. And there's some other options down here. But what you need is in the first few scrolls. So anyway, that is basically the nitty gritty of your canvas when designing something in Canva. Now, if you're wondering, where is this beautiful design that you created in Canva? You can go back to your home screen, and this is what you would see. And of course, it'll have your name when it's your account. You'll see that you can go and start a whole new design and scroll through everything that they have to offer. Or you can go over here to all your designs. This is where you're going to find the designs that you create. Again, they automatically save when you're editing. You can upgrade to Canva Pro and use version history to go back to a previous time you designed it or made changes. But this is where those designs are going to sit. Going down, you'll see shared with you. As of now, I don't have any shared designs. This is a new account. But this is where you can invite people to work with you on designs. Going off of that, you'll see that you can have a brand kit. Now, Branding is a whole nother conversation and another bone to pick for another day. But if you want to begin using your color scheme, the colors that are in your logo and in your other print designs from the past, this is where you can upload them so that you can easily click on them when designing something in Canva. You can also upload your brand fonts. I know most businesses do have set brand fonts, to keep their communications consistent, as well as colors and even their logo. This is where you would upload that to build your professional brand kit. And it ultimately helps you save a lot of time rather than having to go search for a color, search for a font. It's just a simplistic way to save time. Here you can create a team. It's going to give me that option that it gave me when I first created my account. That's where you would go and build a team. This is where your folders are at. And here you can go and create a new folder, name it whatever you want. I won't create one for the sake of time since we've spent a lot of time doing other stuff. But this is where you would go and access all your designs, likes, purchased, shared with you, uploads, and even trash. So if you're wondering what likes are, this is where images you like, when you're in the canvas and you hit the 3 dots, hit like, that's the folder it's going to go in. Elements you purchased would go in that folder, and so on and so forth. And just to give you an example of how I implement the folders feature in Canva, in addition to my work with Bell Bell, I actually do design work for 2 other businesses in Horry County. And so to keep their designs separate so that I can easily go and locate business number 1's design at any time, I go and create a folder and entitle it the business name. And that's where I place all of the designs relevant to their business in that folder so that I can differentiate the two and not step on one another's toes. So that's how I use it to my benefit. I'm sure there's lots of other benefits y'all can use it for as well. And here's trash. This is where your trash designs, images, and videos would go as well. So just say, fast forward a month from now, we've got 10 designs in this All Your Designs tab. For some reason, you want to delete this one. You would hit Move to Trash to trash it. But it doesn't permanently delete. You can always restore it by going to that trash tab in the left-hand column and hitting Restore. So that's really the home page. There's a lot more drop downs with templates, and you can explore whatever your needs are and find what suits that. You can look at the features of Canva. You can even learn. They have courses and tutorials and even a blog with various articles that can really further your understanding of the platform and how it can aid your graphic design efforts. So now that we have truly dived into Canva and we've gotten a taste and you've gotten your hands wet, it's time for you to get your turn at Canva. So my recommendation to y'all is to follow the steps that I took to create a free account. Follow those steps, create your own free account. And of course, it's going to show you the different options and features of upgrading to Canva Pro, including the thousands of templates, background remover, extra storage, and even extra folders. There's lots of endless options with either account level. So the next steps following this presentation, if you don't have Canva, you need to get it. You need to aim to spend an hour before the end of the week just exploring it, just playing around, getting your hands even more wet and diving into this platform and seeing how it can benefit your small business. So I'm going to upload this file with the presentation slides in the chat box during the questions portion of this. But when you download it, you can just click this link over this text box, and it will take you to the option to sign up for Canva. I enjoy talking with all of y'all. I know it may have seemed a bit tedious, but I know that some of y'all may not have ever used the platform. And when I first got the program, I was still in college, which was just a few years ago, but I didn't have any help, and it was a very new program at the time. And I didn't take the time to go watch a tutorial or a webinar. So I appreciate all of you that have joined or even watching the replay after this is posted to social media. Thank you for joining us. And I'm here to help and answer any questions you have. You see that my email and phone number is listed. I'm available at either of those at any point in the day. I am also the owner of Odd Occasions, and I create different designs. Like I said before, I work with 2 businesses in the area to meet their content needs for social media. And I also do other design work as well. So if you have any questions or need anything from me, feel free to reach out to me. But before concluding this, I wanted to open the floor for any questions or input. I can even revisit Canva using my pro level membership and show you some things that I wasn't able to show you through the free one.
There was one question about if nonprofits can get Canva for free, and I believe it is available if you have a C3 in the US, a document proving that you're a C3, an existing one.
In addition to what we've done today, I was going to show y'all what I have created in the past and really the endless capabilities of what Canva has to offer. Now, before I started at Bell Bell, I worked at HTC in Conway. So I was also very involved in design work there. And so I'm just going to show y'all some different things that I've created in the past and things that you're capable of creating also. At Bell Bell, I had to create, of course, given the COVID circumstances, create ultimately some safety guidelines. And I created a flyer within Canva, and it showcases both English and Spanish text. And ultimately, it was just recommending wearing a face mask or covering. But I built all of this in Canva. I found the text elements, the overall mask element, and even uploaded our logo to easily create that from one of the original templates they have. And just know that even if you find a template you like, but for some reason you only like a few things from it, the template is completely customizable. You could delete all but one thing of the template. Like, you don't have to stick to what it looks like. So just keep that in mind too. A lot of times I'll choose a template, but it's really for reference as I build out something entirely new. It's however you want to do it. And then there was another one that I used for internal use. This is for a real estate company or real estate business that I work with outside of my regular job. This is an Instagram post that I did. And if you're familiar with Instagram, you know that you can upload a single photo or multiple. So whenever you swipe right, this will be the first image you see, then the second, third, and fourth. And of course, I changed some names and stuff for permission purposes. But that was also created in Canva. So I went from a flyer all the way to an Instagram post. So you see that print and digital options, again, you can do anything with it. This was something I created for Bell Bell, our holiday closures. It was just a standard flyer for our external doors. I pulled a template, redesigned it to match our brand elements. It didn't take long at all. This is something from when I worked at HTC, and some of the elements switched around, but this is actually a postcard that was sent as a part of a mail campaign. This was the front side of the postcard. And then on the back side, I used Canva to create this, and this actually ended up being mailed out to the public. But the reason I'm showing y'all these items is that you can design anything. And then here is one other postcard. So I did that on the front side and then on the back side. And you can even go and add in a stamp element like I did there. Options are honestly endless. That was an event. Cover photo for Facebook that Bell Bell did back in the fall for Halloween. I actually used elements within Canva to rebuild the overall look of our dealership. So that was kind of neat to do that as well. And then that was a blood drive graphic as well.
Yes, I appreciate Audrey being here. I don't know how much more free time she has, but if anybody has any questions, this is a great time to share where you've got stuck in Canva, and we can kind of help you out.
I want to thank you very much, Audrey and Izzy, for pulling this together. This is a lot of really good information. I don't know if it's all going to stick, but at least I've seen it, so when I click on it, because I did get Canva Pro, so I've been working with it. This is good. This is very good.
Thank you so much for that. And my recommendation for everyone is, if you don't have a Canva account, just go and sign up for a free one using that link in my presentation. And once you sign up for that, just get used to the platform and everything I discussed today. And then once you see that there might be a tool, that resize tool or version history or brand kit that you need for your business's capabilities, go ahead and upgrade then. But I would first test out the free account to ensure that you have a full understanding of it before you upgrade to even more features.
You mentioned scheduling to other platforms. Is that hard to do? Is it easy? Are the instructions?
In the Pro account, you'll see that you can schedule social media content. And I'm unsure if y'all have ever heard of Later or Planoly, however you pronounce it. But those are scheduling platforms that you can use to schedule your content so that you don't have to sit there and wait on 12 o'clock or whatever time you post to post. But within Canva Pro, you get that capability. So I'm going to log into my Pro account and show you the options for that scheduling. All right, so I've logged into, let me make sure. Yes, I logged into my Pro account and it looks the same as what we looked at earlier. Not much has changed, but you'll see that your options on the left have increased. I have access to the brand kit, and since we're here, I'll show you really fast. This is for Bell & Bells. So you see that I have uploaded my brand logos. I've got my brand colors. I even have our brand fonts that we use in most of our communications. And you can even go and upload other fonts as well that you may or may not use. But your primary ones that you use for most communications, I would add here. And they can be changed at any time. You see that there. So that's brand kit if you were unaware of what I was talking about before. Underneath that, you'll see content planner. And I honestly have never used this, but it's not hard to use. But you would just go over the day. Let's say you want to post something tomorrow let's pretend we're posting February's employee birthdays. So I selected that design out of all of my designs, and I would schedule to, you would select the applicable platform. Let's say it's Facebook. And I'd have to connect it, but we're going to pretend it's already connected. So you would select it there. Choose which pages you want to include or select all of them. Write your caption. It's not going to let me hit schedule because I don't have our Facebook account linked to my Canva Pro. But once you link your social media to Canva, that's how you can easily schedule your post. So ultimately, you would go here, click it, connect it. Then you would select which you want to share, put in your caption, schedule it, and I'm assuming it would give you the time options, and you could just put 12 or whatever time you plan to post. You can even save it as a draft if you need to go think about your caption or you need to go run an errand. It's not going to go away. So it's as easy as that. Pick your day, click a plus, and go through them steps.
Or if you're editing your design, and remember earlier when she was saying share to and like Facebook pages was an option, it'll give you the same prompts, and then when it's done, it'll save it to this content planner. So this is where you would have to go to manage it. I think personally, this is an opinion. If you're a team of one and you're doing everything in Canva, this is probably great. But my grain of salt would be if you're scheduling a lot of other Facebook posts as well, or you have other people on your team that also schedule a Facebook post, it's not showing up in your Facebook scheduler when you log into Facebook. So they would either need to know about those time slots or however you have it worked out with that, if that makes sense.
Any questions? I am going to show you all the resize tool. I do think that's a really valuable tool if you ever do upgrade. It's a simple tool that can easily be implemented to create multiple designs for different platforms while also building some cohesiveness. All right, so I'm going to move on. You're going to see some finished designs, some that are I just save them there. So let's say, okay, we're going to use the birthdays thing again. So on our Facebook, whether or not you follow us, once a month, I showcase our employee birthdays. So this is what we're working with. This was for January. So this was sized to be a Facebook post because this is what is shared on Facebook. Anyway, so it's already got the pixels there, your dimensions. But let's say for some reason you want to share it to Instagram or wherever. You would go and scroll through. You can even go and search up here, whatever platform or type of media you need. Go and select it. We're going to stick with Instagram for now for the sake of time. Hit copy and resize. So let's see how accurate it is. So to me, that looks pretty accurate in regards to the look of what was created for Facebook. Do y'all not think? So that's why the resize tool is called the Magic Resize tool. You can go, again, select whatever area you need to upload to or convert to. Click it, copy and resize. And that's as quick and easy as you're going to get it, I feel like. Of course, you could go to the home and then, type an Instagram post and recreate it. But why would you do that when you do have that option included in your membership level? So those are the main things that I enjoy with my Canva Pro account. It's just things that are already included, and that's, I guess, why I pay for it each month. But I recommend you just going and getting that free account, getting used to the platform, the ins and the outs, like I've talked about today, and then upgrading when you're ready. Any other questions? It looks like a few people had to jump off to other Zoom meetings. The life of 2021. Again, I thank everyone for being here.
I'd like to say thank you, Audrey. It was a great job. And I've been struggling with a Canva presentation for a presentation today. It's been a year exactly since I used it. So this is great to give me some shortcuts and some tips. And I think at my age, we try to make things too hard when they're really not. So thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate everything. And I hope everybody learned something, at least had one takeaway from this. And if you didn't, contact me and we'll talk and we'll find a takeaway for you that can benefit you in your business.
Okay, well, I agree with everybody else. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you again all for being here, and we really hope this helped you out.